When I was 20 years old, I found out that my father had been cheating on my mother for over 10 years. Throughout this, he fathered 2 children with another woman in secret. My grandparents, his parents, knew of his extramarital affairs the entire time. Ask me anything. Please like and subscribe. I worked very hard on this video and I'd appreciate if you would subscribe. Thank you. Did he or does maintain a relationship with his second family? Does your mom know? What is the status of your parents' relationship? He maintains the bare minimum relationship with his other children. They are 9 and 7 I believe. For reference, I'm the youngest of the 3 children father and mother have. And I'm 26. Apparently him and the mother do not get along very well. She was under the impression that he would leave his wife and family for her, which he did not do. My mother knew before my sisters and I did. She kept the secret in hopes they could save their marriage. She also wanted my father to own up to his mistakes and tell my sisters and I, which again, he did not do. It would have been, if he had though. After the secret was out, my parents attempted to work through their problems to no avail, and they divorced, which I'm happy for, because my mother is far better off without him. This happened to me as well. He had fathered a child with his secretary, so 70s. I know, and he had bought a second house for her and the kid, whom I only met when I was 15, and he was 10. The worst part was to find a lot of my old toys there. He had asked me one day to put together a box of toys I was not playing with any longer to give them away for charity. Instead he took all of them to his other son. My parents divorced, and my mom took him to the cleaners. He married the other woman and I've not seen or talked to him since 1991. I've looked up my half-brother on LinkedIn. He lurked my profile in kind, and we didn't even say hello to one another. Don't be a polygamist, or at least be honest with the kids from your first and legal home. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I know it's a tough feeling to have. I don't talk much to my father. I've debated cutting him out completely, but in the meantime I just give hollow responses when he texts me. I haven't laid eyes on him in 2 years though. At one point, when I was a teen, my father ended up taking up a second job at another hospital. He's an ex-RI tech. He said it was so he could save up and buy mom all the nice things she wanted to save for. In reality it was because the other woman sued him for child support. My father never really provided for us growing up. Even though he made good money at his job, he instead spent it on his girlfriends and drugs, along a bunch of other things we would consistently do without things like heat, and water. I think that was the hardest part for me, was knowing that he could have provided a better life for his wife and children, but willingly decided not to. I feel like one of the toughest aspects of this is the fact that you can't just talk to anyone and have someone know what you're going through. It's difficult to navigate. My dad was not much different. He didn't spend his money on drugs, but on good wine, restaurants and expensive vacations with the other family. I know he also hid money in offshore accounts. It's only thanks to a former accountant that he either fired or who left in bad terms that my mom learned of my dad's many ways to hide money and how he was bankrolling life and family too. She took him to the cleaners because she was the only paycheck of the home while his business slowly took off. She paid for the tools, the vehicle, gasoline, office, etc. It only took off because he joined Freemasonry and other Masons started to hire him. He eventually got kicked from his lodge and he sold his business and retired. So my mom deservedly won her case in court, but we don't know where he hid most of his money to this day. I only cut him out because I once asked him to apologize for something. I decided that if he could at least apologize for the 10 years of lying, I could keep a relationship with him. I also realized that his new wife was controlling him completely and this was not the dad I once had. I did have some good time with him when I was a kid and that's the dad I remember. I guess you went through all the same stages of grief I went through myself. I tell my family story without expecting much pity. I want people to know that this type of story does exist in real life, and to caution men against sticking their D in every P out there, especially when they already have a wife and kids. Being a man is also about resisting one's urges and about rejecting any opportunity to sin. Holy shit, how are you feeling? Are you okay? It's one of those things that get easier over time. I should have specified. I'm now 26. So I have known for 6 years. It definitely magnified my depression and anxiety though. And my relationship with my father and his side is very strained because of this. But a good thing that did come from this is that I started taking my mental health more seriously, and I have significantly cut down contact with my father and his side of the family due to how toxic they became. Do you feel like you will ever be able to re-establish your relationship with your dad? How do you feel about the future with him? I'm in the same situation with you, but my dad has recently been diagnosed with cancer, and I just don't know what is the best approach. Everybody is different. I don't know the type of person your father is. I think I would be more open to having a better relationship with him if he was upfront and honest about his actions and took accountability for them. So I take things one step at a time with him. I have been upfront and honest about my feelings to him, and I only hope that he does the same. But I don't put expectations on him. I used to think that people could not change no matter what, but that simply isn't true. One thing I have learned from this is that what's most important is your happiness and mental health. Many people view that as selfish, but it's my truth. When you found out you had extra half siblings, how did you feel? When I was first told, my first reaction was, if you're joking, it's not very funny. Then I started crying hysterically. I was the last of my family to find out, and my sister called me to tell me because my father wouldn't. Looking back, it's a little funny. My husband came into the room because I was so upset. He asked what was wrong, and I literally couldn't get the words out. When I finally told him, his response was, "Fuck, I've got nothing for that." My husband is the type that has a plan and answer for everything. So looking back, it's a little funny to remember the one time I heard him stumped XD. Are you in good terms with your stepbrother/sister? I don't have any type of relationship with them, and honestly I don't want to have one. They found out about us the same time we found out about them. There is about a 15-year age gap between us. My paternal grandmother tries to force us together every chance she gets because she wants us badly to have a happy family. But if it were up to me, they wouldn't know I exist. I don't view them as family. That's kind of cunty. It's not their fault their father was a prick. I don't deny that. It is cunty. But I'm being honest. I'm not going out of my way to be cruel to them. I simply choose not to interact with them. They have their lives, and I have mine. Just because you're blood related doesn't mean you're family. The people who stand with you through thick and thin regardless of their relation to you, that's your family. They are kids. Literally. That stick with you stuff sounds like a bullshit excuse to be passively aggressive to your dad via your half siblings. Their lives would not improve just because I'm a part of it. Also, I don't feel the need to get back at my father. I have gone through the anger and resentment etc. And I'm now to a point where I don't feel much of anything over the situation and those included. Plus, in my experience, having a relationship with someone only because you feel guilt, pity, obligation or any other emotional aside from genuine affection/love/caring does a lot more harm than good. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe. I have a Discord server. Link is in the description. Again, thank you for watching. See you soon.